Hello, everybody. I hope you're doing well. I am here today with my new co-host, my emotional support pillow, which I just grabbed last week. Well, no, whenever I made my last video, because I felt a little insecure, like I just needed something to cling to. So I grabbed this off of the couch because when I sit on the couch, I like to have something to hold on to too. And it helped. I found that my video, I was pretty pleased with how it came out, and I was able to speak naturally and just feel more myself. And it's we all have our ways of coping and helping us to interact with the world. I was actually talking to my friend Jonathan. He's got his channel Carnivore Muscle, which subscribe if you're not already. He's great, and he's also autistic. And he was telling me some of the tools he uses to help him, his emotional support tools when he makes his videos. I'm curious, like, if anyone else, like, if you're autistic or not, what kind of helps you to cope? Do you have like do you, have a piece of jewelry that you play with, or, something you hold, or something you chew on, or just different ways we cope. It's very interesting. We find our ways to help us engage with the world, because some of us struggle with it. I definitely do sometimes. Anyway, sometimes I'll make a video and I'll be thinking, like, I should have clarified this point. Like, I said something that probably don't know why. Why do you have this view? Why did you want this or not want this? You say this random thing, Juliet. What are you talking about? And so I should clarify something, even though you probably watched my video and didn't think about it again, but it drove me crazy that I didn't clarify. So I'm going to clarify. I had mentioned that I was wanting to make my last video alive, and you might have thought, you probably didn't think anything of it, but you might have thought, well, why did she want to do a live? She's not really someone who does lives on her channel. What was the reasoning? And the reasoning was I had some things I wanted to say. It wasn't something that could be stated clearly and concisely and in like a snappy video that would like really grab attention. And lives, I find, can be more there's there's less pressure to be interesting. Now that sounds harsh, but lives can be boring sometimes. It's true. And I'm not saying anything about anyone that I follow or like, because I don't follow people I think are boring, but by the nature of lives, sometimes they can be boring. And, it's just real time as things happen. And I just felt like, maybe I could say what I wanted to, and there'd be less pressure. Like, even if people came to it after the fact, and they probably would. Like, okay, well, it's in the context of a live. If it's not 100%, boom, 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 interesting, then, no big deal. And I could be forgiven for not being super, super entertaining. I'm just going to go with it. I don't care. I got my emotional support pillow. I'm just going to tell you about my life. So last Thursday, was my son William's 23rd birthday, as I had mentioned in my previous video. And it was a nice day. I kept him home from school. He's 23, but he's got he's in a vocational program. So just getting, there's like the school for autism goes through to a certain age, like end of high school-ish. And that's what my younger son Alexander is in. And then, the older students, as they're getting ready, life readiness, world readiness, just adulting, is more of the program that William is in. It's a transition center. So it's not like, if he misses school, I try to get him to not miss too much school. But if he does, one day for his birthday, I'm like, give him his birthday off. Have a fun day. And I did that last year too. So it was just William and me, and we spent the day with Grandma too. And it was a nice, peaceful day. And, we had the meal he wanted, and, we got him, Grandma got him some puzzles, and I got him, he's got his own little version of a security emotional support pill. He likes to hold things too. I got him, what's it called? The little round dude from Monsters, Inc. You know the dude. Anyway, William loves that. He holds on to that. And I got him that. And at the end of the day, I asked William what his favorite part of his birthday was. And he said, cake. And I respect the honesty. And it was a really delicious cake. We got it from this, I told you about it, it's a Korean-inspired coffee shop down the road. They've got really good coffee. And I'm not usually much for the baked goods, but they do have good baked goods. And it was a delicious cake, but more importantly, William was happy, and seeing that he had a happy birthday makes me very happy. In other news, Xander, I am looking to get him, I've been trying for years to get him into ABA therapy. William had it when he was 5, and that's why I know that it works, and it did wonders for him. And William and Xander are very different young men, but I still think it could help Xander. And Xander has some he has some issues, but I won't go into that in this video. But because he is now over 18, it's harder to get him. Well, he is 18. He's 18, but he'll be 19 in May. But he did start ABA at the beginning of 2020. He started ABA. He was on that track. And then, you know what happened in 2020. We don't need to talk about it. I'm just sick of talking about that. But, so his ABA was disrupted. And then by the time, everything kind of got back on track in the world, he was too old for most ABA programs. But my mom happened to be driving along and saw someplace locally that said ABA on their sign. And so I called the place, and I said, look, my son is 18. I don't know if you would offer services to anyone his age or know anyone who would. And they said that they work with people up to age 21. And so it's promising. We'll see what happens, but I've got hope. and hope is good, because there's some. It's at a point where we need some extra outside help. Anyway, just quick update. I figure, I'm just going to tell you. I'm going to tell my life update. I don't need to necessarily have a snappy plan. It's my autistic experience. It's my family's autistic experience. And I'm just going to talk to you like I would talk to a friend if you're sitting there across from me. And I was just talking along and not letting you get a word in edgewise and making it all about me and my family. Anyway, I will talk to you soon. I'm going to try to do videos once a week. I realize this has been more like a week and a half, almost 2 weeks, but single mom, and really I don't really have much in the way of help around here, so I squeeze in the time when I can, and right now the kids are in school, so I will talk to you later. And so from me and my emotional support pillow, bye.